We're getting smart. Nearly a century later, in the face of unrelenting economic warfare, the United States can no longer continue with a policy of unilateral economic surrender. We cannot pay the deficits of Canada, Mexico, and so many other countries. We used to do it. We can't do it anymore. We take care of countries all over the world. We pay for their military. We pay for everything they have to pay. And then when you want to cut back a little bit, they get upset that you're not taking care of them any longer. But we have to take care of our people.
Today on FTN, Trump's tariffs are unveiled and the global fallout begins. For months, President Trump has been threatening to impose significant tariffs on the United States' largest trading partners. These threats date back to his presidential campaign, where tariffs were featured as a central part of his election platform.
I campaigned on this policy throughout last year, and today that promise was made, and it was also a promise, as you know, that was kept. Promises made, promises kept.
Yesterday, those threats became reality. The full scope of Trump's tariffs were unveiled on what he calls Liberation Day, bringing a sweeping set of new trade restrictions on virtually every major trading nation. Trump's Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, joined him on stage to present a large placard detailing the tariffs.
I'd like to see the chart if you have it. Could you bring it up, Howard? This is our great Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. Thanks, Howard.
Trump framed the policy as an access tax on foreign countries seeking to sell goods in the American market.
Foreign nations will finally be asked to pay for the privilege of access to our market, the biggest market in the world. We're right now the biggest market in the world. We had a great country 4 years ago in terms of the economics. We were doubling up on China. We were doing so well. Nobody was going to catch us, but so much of it slipped away over the last 4 years under Biden.
While these tariffs will undoubtedly strain international trade relations, they fell short of the full reciprocal tariffs Trump had previously threatened.
But we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So the tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries who didn't want to do that. I call this kind reciprocal. This is not full reciprocal. This is kind reciprocal.
Trump did not hold back in expressing his frustration over what he views as years of unfair trade practices against the United States.
And today we're standing up for the American worker, and we are finally putting America first.
However, he outlined a few ways for countries to avoid these new tariffs.
My answer is very simple if they complain. If you want your tariff rate to be zero, then you build your product right here in America, because there is no tariff if you build your plant, your product in America. Likewise to all of the foreign presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, ambassadors, and everyone else who will soon be calling to ask for exemptions from these tariffs, I say, terminate your own tariffs, drop your barriers, don't manipulate your currencies.
He also highlighted several companies that have announced plans to bring manufacturing back to the United States as a direct result of his tariff policies.
Apple is going to spend $500 billion. They never spent money like that here. They're going to build their plants here. SoftBank, OpenAI, and Oracle, great companies, are investing $500 billion almost immediately. NVIDIA, a hot company, is investing hundreds of billions of dollars. They just announced. TSMC, the biggest, most important company in the world of chips from Taiwan, with no investment from us, is investing $200 billion. And they said the reason was, number one, the election of November 5th, and number two, the tariffs.
The stock market reacted sharply to Trump's announcement, with major indices initially plummeting amidst investor concerns over escalating trade tensions. According to Bloomberg.com, the announcement erased $2 trillion from the market's value. This story is still unfolding, and the global repercussions are just beginning. Stay tuned to Financial Talk Now for continued coverage on the impact of Trump's tariffs.